So Christy and Kathy, the K and K Girl Talk, are just going over a book that we're reading together, and it's a teacher's manual. And we're on gentleness, and we were discussing some topics that we thought might be beneficial and helpful to others. So, um, gentleness. I'm just going to start, Christy, with harm is impossible for God's teachers. They can neither harm nor be harmed. And so we went on a little tangent so that we thought we would share that and how you've applied this because we have inherent divine power within us, but we don't know how to tap into that. So you want to like ad lib?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the ways that I was discussing that I've used this is to find and focus on the spirit within the other person. And so when somebody's bothering me, and the example I had used was my ex-husband from 20 years ago. I had my daughter in my arms and he was berating me and using the Bible as a thump over my head and beating me up with it. And it was just berating me and berating me, berating me. And I couldn't just leave because his car was parked behind mine and it was at my property. And so the only solution that I could think of at the time, because I had been studying this, was to switch my mind over to the spiritual realm and to focus on the power of God. And Emmett Fox talks about pretend like you're in a dark room and you're searching for the light switch. And that's how you have to think about the spirit or the God within you, the God within the person, and just flip your mind to that and focus on finding God, spirit in that other person, like you would if you were thrust into a dark room and you're searching and searching and searching for that light. And when I did that, he shut up and then he got in his car and he left. I didn't have to say anything to him. I didn't have to tell him to stop talking, stop treating me that way. This isn't something you should say in front of our daughter. None of that. He just got quiet, got in his car, and he left. And all I had to do was think about the spiritual realm of it. And this is the other thing that I was telling Kathy, that when this part of me is right, the vertical axis, then the horizontal axis becomes easier to live within when I can take care of the vertical piece.
And it's the cross. It's the sweet spot in the middle. I always like to think of the figure eight. So you get
Yeah.
somebody on, so the figure eight, if you've got dark, it's just the absence of light. So there,
Mm-hmm.
and so what we like to find is that sweet spot. I call it the dance floor in the middle, the balance where we come
Yep.
together, and that and the two opposites meet and they blend balance together. And so what you did is he's taken that meanness and you're like, okay, I want to, come at love
Yes.
and diffuse the situation. And one of the things that when we were talking, I had said it always should be done with a compassionate heart because the heart is that middle part. It's that middle ground. It can take the darkness and accept the light and find the beauty to lighten the situation, to resolve the situation. That's where miracles happen, is on that dance floor. And so I said a situation when I was doing this, gosh, going at least back 20 years.
Yeah. See, both of
And
us
one of
went
the
into
things that like we discussed too, we both have done this course before. And now and so we came from it at the point that we knew it right then, right? And so
right,
some of it
right.
didn't make any sense. And now when we read it, we perceive it differently because our experiences and our knowledge and our truth is different too. And if we were to read this 6 months or 10 years from now, um, our interpretation could be even more enlightened. But I use this, and I can't remember if it's in my book. Some girls at a company that I was working for were really mean to me. And I was using this, and I knew that, you don't want to come at somebody with that same energy. So you want to have a higher energy. You want to use the spirit of love within you, the compassion within you. And so I would go to my office after them being mean, and I knew something that they wanted in life. One of them wanted to get pregnant. And so I would fill my heart with love, love, love. And then I would envision the arrows, like I would get a bunch of arrows and going down the hall into her office and impregnating her with a baby of her, whatever the highest, best interest of her was, but just sending her everlasting love. And then like when I would see her later, I mean, either we would miss each other, it was like she didn't see me or something. But then within a short period of time, she announced that she was pregnant and she was able to leave early in her pregnancy and had a nice healthy baby and never came back to work. So there's many ways to use your inherent God-given power and invoke it. And that's
Exactly.
one of the things that we thought we would share with others. Did you want to add to that? I mean,
Yeah,
we had some great.
the only thing is that when we do this, those things or people, circumstances, they will disappear from your life altogether or they will cease bothering you. And it works like magic, but that's the miracle when we become willing to take the action. And so it's all we have the power when we decide to take that power. And it really is that simple. And we resist it so much that until we decide to grab it and take it, our life isn't going to get better. All these other people around us spinning in the chaos, they are taking our power. And but we're allowing them to take our power because I resist taking this action. And it's just in my thinking. That's what either one of us did was in our thinking. That's all we did.
Yeah. And what we're talking about, I'm getting my magnets out because I love my magnets. What we're talking about is your heart is an electromagnetic field of energy that's scientifically proven. And if you want to know where that is, and either one of us could guide you to that. But just like this magnet, you cannot see any, I can feel it from here. I can feel the energy of these two wanting to be together. You are creating your electromagnetic field with inspired intention. If you don't have intention, then it's being guided by others. You're allowing your energy force to be guided by others. When you set intention, that's why when you start the day, throughout the day, and in the day with intention, um, preferably excitement, inspired intention, then you're going to start attracting better things because everybody's like, well, how do I attract more money? How do I attract this or that? What's the law of attraction? And they leave out your electromagnetic field of energy that's right here because when right here, it's really pulling. And right here, and then there's like, I know I'm getting close, and like I cannot stop them from attracting. And it,
Right.
and so you've also been like when you're in that zone, when you're in that zone, bad things can be happening around you, but you're not even going to see them because it's not in your field. Other people are experiencing that, and I've said it before. I was in Atlanta and I was staying at the downtown Marriott and went
It's a
in,
great
checked
story.
in.
This is a
Yeah,
great story. It's a great story. It's a great example. I've even shared it with other people. It's so great. So go on, share it with them.
yeah, I love the story because I'm like, so I go in with a friend and we check in, we go out to dinner, and for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, I wanted to see this over there. So we go out a different door to go to a restaurant. We go have dinner. We come back, sleep, get up the next morning and leave. And I'm talking to a friend on the phone. She's like, are you okay? Where did you stay? And I tell her, she's like, oh my God, how were the riots? And I'm like, what are you talking about? There was riots all around the Marriott that night, but we didn't see them at all. We were not in danger at any moment because we were not projecting that field of energy. And so somebody else was having trouble. They didn't have their intent, whatever their vibration they need to have that experience. So there's literally riots going on and it wasn't in our world. So that's, I mean, a perfect example of the law of attraction at work. And I'm not saying I've had just the opposite happen too.
Right, exactly, exactly. Which we can talk about on another time.
Yeah. But I think that like is a good like short like your
Yeah,
inherent power of God within our
correct.
creator, whatever title you want to give that. So thanks for
Yeah,
joining us
yeah,
and
absolutely.
till next time.